Time is running out.
It's here for
Welcome to Ear for Fear. This is the podcast where we talk about scary movies or movies trying to be scary. My name is Rick. Today we're talking about 1988's Night of the Demons, joined by one of our regular guests, Morris Hoylman.
Hey.
Monster Movie Man 13 himself. Thanks for coming out, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem, man.
You and I did Psycho last week. That was cool. And now we're going to be talking about maybe I'm not going to use the word classic like we did with Psycho on this this movie.
Yeah, it doesn't warrant Psycho. Psycho warrants a classic. This one, it's known, but
it is known.
Yeah, but it's schlocky for sure.
It is. Before you and I jump in, dissect this thing, let's do a quick synopsis. 10 teenagers party at an abandoned funeral parlor on Halloween night. When an evil force awakens, demonic spirits keep them from leaving and turn their gathering into living hell. Man, so 1988's Night of the Demons. I know you and I both have seen this several times.
Oh yeah, definitely. You were telling me that you saw this maybe in the theater when you were working at the theaters.
I did, yeah, dude. I did when I was working at the old Cinedomes. This was playing there. I remember us getting little. When you used to work at the movie theater, we'd get like little kind of marketing pieces like they would give out to us.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember getting the invitation.
The iconic invitation that's on the VHS cover or DVD cover.
Yeah. And
very cool.
I remember getting that. And then, dude, I saved any of that stuff. I kind of wished I did, but I never did.
What did it say? Freddie and Jason are too afraid to come to this party.
Something like
you're invited.
Angela's having a party. Freddie and Jason were too scared to come, but you'll have a hell of a night or something like that, dude. Yeah. And I always thought that was kind of a cool, I love little marketing things like that. I saw it at the theater. Dude, it was whatever. It was okay, and then I've seen it several times since then. And then again, I rewatched it today for the podcast.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, man. I definitely don't like it as much as I used to.
Yeah.
It really is. Oh God. The acting is just bad.
Yeah, it is. It is very bad. It's almost shot on video from the 80s acting bad.
Yeah.
But there are some characters that are like we were talking about earlier, before we got on the podcast. They're charismatic in the sense they're a little over the top.
They are. They are. Like we're talking about Sal. Sal's not bad. Roger's good. Stooge is good for what he is.
Yeah.
But I think what bothered me more as I rewatched this, and I always felt this way about Stooge, is the way he talked to, I think it was Helen.
Yeah.
Oh, just oh my God.
Oh, he's a jerk to her.
Just really bad. And
at first, when I first saw this movie, I thought Helen was his girlfriend, but yeah, the more I look at it looked like Roger, and Helen, who are all riding together,
just friends.
We're just friends, but they all hung out.
Dick to everybody.
But it's weird. They were like three of the most unnatural friends that you would ever see together.
Yeah,
Helen looked like she could have been like a good student in school.
Yeah,
Roger. I'm not trying to but he was he's like a good, preacher's son.
Preacher's son. And then Stooge
kept
is
his nose clean. And then Stooge is just like this loudmouth
piece of crap. D-bag, man.
Yeah, he just the guy that you would, probably light his butt on fire with,
Yes.
with fireworks exploding in his, like a bottle rocket, or he's just one of those, that stupid friend that,
Yeah.
But I just don't see these other people with him. But anyway,
well, you know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of Return of the Living Dead. The group of friends, right? The group of friends, like you could say, okay, I can see all of them hanging out, and what are these doing?
And then what's Tina doing hanging out with the punk rockers,
right?
Yeah,
which is weird because in both movies you got Linnea Quigley. That's kind of odd.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I always thought that rewatching Return of the Living Dead recently, I'm like, what is she doing? I don't know, man. I mean,
not to mention that she looked like she was 35 and everybody else looked 25.
Right. I know. Yeah.
I mean, they're all supposed to be high schoolers, but Stooge looked like he could have been 30. Jay definitely looked like he was, probably in his, residency year at the hospital.
He did look like that.
Yeah.
Is he supposed to be in college or high school?
No, it's supposed to be high school.
Dude, there's no way. There is no way.
This goes to like level of Porky's, where none of those guys look like they were in high school.
Yeah.
Because there's those 80s comedies or those 80s movies where the kids are supposed to be in high school, and some of them are passable.
They are.
But like Ralph Macchio was, I want to say he was like 23 or 24 at the time of Karate Kid. But he did pass for
he did.
And
when part 2 came around, no.
Yeah.
He
already looked older.
He looked substantially older, yeah.
Yeah, or even like Matthew Broderick, being Ferris Bueller. But then you get to movies like Porky's, where they all look like they're freaking, pushing 40.
Or hell, we could even go say Grease, when they they look like they were, like you said, 40 or 35, and they're supposed to be in high school.
Oh yeah, like all the T-birds.
Oh my God, Rizzo looked like she was 50 or something. But anyways,
so we are going to be doing spoilers on this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if anyone's seen this, hasn't seen this movie, they should probably tune out now and then tune back in after they watch the movie.
Yeah. So basically, like the synopsis says, they're gonna, it's Halloween, so they're gonna go party at some abandoned, this is like an old funeral home.
Yeah.
What, Whole House?
Whole House.
Whole House, right?
So it's like HULL house. Yeah.
Okay. So Whole House. What I noticed rewatching this is, special effects aren't great. We know the acting sucks. I will say the one thing it has going for it is the music.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I'm a sucker for synthesizer stuff. Because watching this, it reminded me of a few things. It had a little bit of John Carpenter, not on his level by any means.
Right.
Some Creep Show, and believe it or not, some Shining.
Oh yeah.
It had a little bit of that. If you kind of meshed it together on like a kind of lower budget, that's what you got here.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, at the same time, it felt out of place because this is 1988.
Yeah.
That would have been more warranted in early 80s. It seemed like it was, I don't know if that was intentional. I don't know. Or it was like, hey, my next door neighbor is going to do the music for this movie because we're on a low budget. I don't know. And he's like, hey, dude, what can you do? Well, I can play synthesizer shit. I don't know. Right. I don't know, man. But I liked it, but it felt out of place.
I don't remember hearing any like, I definitely didn't watch any commentaries for this movie or any special, behind the scenes. But going along those lines, I would have to say that this movie is almost like a little bit of a homage to what came before it.
You think?
Yeah, it's almost it almost comes off as a little schlocky throughout the movie. If you notice that tone. Where it doesn't really take itself too serious.
So it's interesting because rewatching this, I was thinking that, but I almost think that it was everything was done on purpose. Mm-hmm. But like you're saying, the schlocky or whatever is, to me, it's like, how can I explain this? Like, they were thinking they were making a really good movie and it wasn't that good. And maybe they were blinded by that. I'm trying to explain this right.
Not like a trauma film.
No, Absolutely not like Trauma.
See, I was thinking more along the lines of Trauma, but you're thinking
No,
like
no.
they were playing it straight, but it came out.
Yeah, so with Trauma, no, dude,
Yeah.
they know exactly who they are and they stick to it. And I respect that because I know what I'm getting with a Trauma film.
Right.
No, this is like we're trying to almost make a kind of serious demon movie. And it's just not good because I don't know, we definitely have
The budget, the acting.
Oh my gosh, all of those things. And that's why I could be way wrong, man. I just felt like they were trying to do something and failed miserably, but they thought it was great. But again, you could be right where this was all intentional and they were making a movie like you're saying with Trauma. I didn't get that feel with Trauma at all. I mean, Trauma has a very distinct look to their
I wasn't
films.
saying to the degree of Trauma, but I was thinking maybe they were trying to play it a little bit schlocky, kind of winking at the audience. But you disagree? That's cool.
I disagree.
Yeah.
But I could be way wrong and you could be way right. I don't know.
I don't have anything to substantiate what I'm thinking.
What I've noticed about this movie is they did a lot of tricks. We've talked about this before. You and I have chatted about this in Piranha 3D. I believe Donovan and I talked about this in Night of the Creeps, the dolly zoom.
Oh yeah,
that effect. It's and as I'm watching a lot of these horror movies, I'm seeing it more often.
The dolly zoom, yeah. And this one definitely
they
too.
had it twice that I counted. So when you do it once, okay,
yeah,
you're basically telling the audience, hey, we know this trick, and we're gonna use it, and use it once,
right?
You use it 2 or 3 times, then what you're going for is more style than substance, and that's what I'm seeing in this movie.
Right.
There's a lot of that in this movie, and like I said, one time is cool,
right?
But you do it more than that, you lost me, and it's
So you notice you're starting to check out a little bit.
A little bit,
yeah,
I actually at one point, because I'd seen this movie a lot of times, but I wanted to rewatch it for the episode. I hopped on my phone for a second and I was like sidetracked on my phone. And normally I don't do that.
Right.
But I was like, oh, come on, man. And so it was those types of things that I think bothered me. Not to mention the acting again is just bad.
Right.
If I'm watching a Trauma film, then I forgive that because I know what I'm getting.
Right.
Look, most of the Trauma films, they weren't released in like big wide releases in theaters.
Not at all,
Night
no.
of the Demons was. I mean, I worked at the theater when it came out. It wasn't like a huge release like an Elm Street or something, but it was like they were pushing this as like a big time horror movie.
So when I saw this, I saw it on video, and it was a new video release. Back in '88. I had no idea it came to the theaters. So, being that you and I have seen some under the radar kind of movies come to theaters, what did this hit theaters like when we saw Return of the Living Dead 3? Where it was only in theaters for maybe a week and then it disappeared.
Yeah, it wasn't. If I remember correctly, and that's going a ways back for me.
Yeah.
I don't think it was in the theaters long.
Yeah. See, I don't remember it hitting theaters. I thought it was just a video release.
No, it was definitely there. If I was to guess, because remember, working at a theater and if you had big releases, those stayed in the theater a long time, obviously. And then these smaller ones would maybe go 2 or 3 weeks and they were out.
Okay.
And then sometimes what they would do is they'd hit those. Remember the old Capitol Theater or some of those.
Oh yeah.
Or even like Sunrise did it where Birdcage was.
Birdcage, yeah.
And they would have these old. You pay $1 and you'd see a movie that's been out say for 2 months or something.
Yeah. And you're thinking, like especially nowadays, it's like, damn, shouldn't this movie already be on DVD or Blu-ray? And then. Back then it was VHS. It's like, crap, this, and then it's still in theaters. It's like,
oh man. And then back then, dude, it took 6 months or something for anything to get on VHS, maybe longer.
Even longer sometimes.
I mean, it's like shit. It's like I wanted to buy this or rent this and see this again. And then I had to wait, 6 to 9 months. And now they crank these things out.
Before the pandemic, we're waiting like maybe 60 days.
I think maybe that's about right.
60 days to 90 days. And then you'll it's like if you missed it in theater, it's like, I'll just wait another month or two, and then I'll just buy it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, exactly. So, so it's Halloween. They're gonna go to a party. They're gonna go to this abandoned funeral home. Our characters, let's run them down because we know we got 10 of them. We got Judy, Roger, Stooge, Helen, Sal, Jay, Suzanne, Angela, Max, and Franny. I think that's about right.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I'll be honest, man. It's probably terrible, and I'm sure some of these other people have been in other movies, but Suzanne is Linnea Quigley, and Angela is Amelia Kincaid. Besides, Night of the Demons 1 and 2, was there a third one? Dude,
yeah, there is. I actually own it.
Do you?
Yeah, there's no original.
Was she in that?
She was,
dude.
But she looks different in each one.
I think I saw part 2, and if I did, I saw it once, and I saw it a long time ago.
Part 3 is terrible.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
okay.
So if you think this one's terrible, part 2 is terrible. And part 3 is even more terrible than that one.
It's even worse.
But I like them for, because they just put a smile on my face.
Yeah, because they're so bad.
They're so bad that they're good.
Yeah.
And Amelia Clark, did you know that she was the dancer in Sexy and 17?
Who? Amelia Kincaid?
Oh,
Amelia Clark. Who's that? Did
Amelia Clark.
Amelia Kincaid?
Yeah, Amelia
She's
Kincaid.
the dancer in who?
Sexy and 17 Stray Cats
Stray
video.
Cats?
So she was
Oh, that's interesting.
So by trade, she's a dancer.
Which makes sense because she
does a really good dance.
She does that good dance scene. That's probably one of the best parts of the movie. She does a fantastic dance scene in this.
Oh, yeah.
Linnea Quigley, you and I met a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
I think it's been about 2 years. 2 years ago.
Yeah.
She was very nice.
She was very nice. Very tiny.
She was short.
Yeah, very short, very petite.
Looking at and
didn't realize how petite she was.
Yeah, and we didn't get a chance to really chat with her long, but she seemed nice.
She did.
She's
countless movies, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the movies, the list is just way too long, but a lot of our favorites.
Yes. And so she's in this. She plays a big role in this. Let's see here. We know Judy and I think it's Jay. Jay's kind of I don't know, man. I think I think we get the impression he's kind of a kind of a punk, but we don't really get to see it until a little later on in the movie. Yeah. But he's really out for one thing.
He is out for one thing because this is like the first date he has with Judy.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't need to tell people, the listeners, what that is. They can figure this. Plus, it's a horror movie. Come on, man. Like you said, Roger, Stooge, and Helen are on their way to the party.
Oh, we do have the old man in the beginning.
We do have the old man,
which will come back to at the very end.
Yeah, he's just an old curmudgeon, right?
He is. I guess Stooge BA'd him, and he's like.
And then I think Sal scared him with the fake rat.
With a fake rat, so he dropped all his groceries.
All apples. And then, of course, you see the apples and you see the razor blades. And, and as, the urban legend goes, on Halloween, there's people that do stupid shit to kids. And,
and they put razor blades and candy and apples.
Wasn't that it? That was in
Halloween 2.
Yeah. That thing was gnarly.
It looked gnarly.
I always think about that when I see this scene. I'm like, oh, god damn, dude.
Because that's the straight razors.
So fucked up. How do you not see the big razor in an apple? I was just curious about that.
That's true.
How do you, because you can't just slide a razor.
What kids are going to eat an apple?
Well, okay. Kids nowadays, they would get an apple for Halloween and they'd chuck it at some car.
Yeah.
Back in, say, the 70s or 80s,
right.
They may do it, but how do you slide a razor blade? Okay, I think we're getting all. Yeah, that sounds really bad, huh?
Well, it's a double-edged razor. Yeah. So a lot of those old shavers had those double-edged razors. I think they still sell them.
But how do you slide? How would you get it into an apple and no one would see it? I guess that's it.
You would, unless you're really looking for the opening, and then it starts to brown. The brown will actually show it. But if it's fresh, you won't see it for a while because the juices will pinch it together. But then if it sits there for too long, then it starts to brown that little area, and then you'll see that bruise.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, to me, I
probably would have eaten like a something like a popcorn ball or a candied apple. I would have gotten those from
candy. I wouldn't have eaten when I was trick or treating when I was a kid. I wouldn't eat a regular apple.
No,
I remember people giving out money like pennies.
Oh yeah,
that was always weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we're getting off topic. But
Yeah, that's totally cool.
it's just stuff we reminisce about. So, people deal with it.
So we get, I guess, Judy gets yelled at from the old man. She goes home to change into her Halloween costume.
Yeah, I think she's Alice from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah,
I guess.
totally Alice.
Some weird stuff with her and her brother's just kind of weird. He's just
weird.
a punk. He's a punk too.
He's a punk and has all these one-liners to say, and I think that's his whole.
This is on his mom. This is on his sister, and then
any friends or boyfriends that sister had.
Yeah,
everything out of his mouth was just snarky.
Yeah. And so I think Jay is like, hey, we were gonna go to this one party, but hey, let's don't go to a school dance because those are stupid. Let's go to this dance
with Angela.
And she goes, well, the only Angela I know is that creepy girl in History or some
the
shit.
creepy goth girl.
The creepy goth girl, yeah. And he's like, come on, it'll be fun. It's Halloween, and who else is gonna throw a cool party like this, And so they go to this. They go to this thing, man. I mean, we get before we get to the actual house, we get this scene at the liquor store or small grocery store, I guess, where Linnea is, or let's just say her character, Suzanne, is distracting the clerks
by bending over,
showing some goods.
Yeah, she's showing her panties in her butt.
And while Angela is stealing stuff.
Oh, yeah. She's packing her pillowcase full of goodies for the party.
Yeah. So, so we get that. It's like, whatever, man. It's cool. Look, we can fast forward to the house because, not a lot of other stuff is really happening, I think.
No, just Linnea's bad one-liners and
acting.
I'm
I'm sorry, Linnea, if you are listening, and you were very sweet when we met you a couple years ago, but the acting was terrible in this movie. I'm sorry. It was bad.
Yeah.
But it was bad all around. So
yeah. No. There has to be some fault to the script writers, maybe.
I'm going to blame it on that. Let's cut her a break, and let's just say whoever wrote the script just did a real terrible job because it was just not good. None of the dialogue was really any good, man.
Yeah,
I mean, all around. I mean, who had any good dialogue? Maybe Max, the one friend. I mean, he had some okay dialogue when he was explaining the whole history of Whole House.
Yeah, but he was a terrible actor.
He wasn't that. I'll tell you what, he was better than I would say all of them. And Roger was good. I thought Roger was, for his character, I thought he was good. Other than, and like I said earlier,
I really like Sal, but he was over the top, Brooklyn or whatever.
Yeah, too stereotypical of what, but he was pretty good too. But other than that, everyone else sucked, man. I'm sorry. I hate to completely bash on him, but it was more noticeable when I watched it again today. I'm just shaking my head going, really? And especially Judy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, how the hell did she get that movie? I mean, I don't know.
She was JR's wife in Dallas, the TV show Dallas for many years.
She was?
Yeah.
How did that work? Because I thought Dallas was early 80s.
Yeah. She actually had that role before.
But she plays a teenager in this movie. If she plays JR's wife in Dallas, wouldn't she have to be old?
No, it was a young wife. He already had gray hair.
Super young.
Yeah, super young. Like trophy young wife.
Really? That was her.
So I don't know all the details because I never watched Dallas.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But Lisa did, my wife, and she's like, oh yeah,
that was her.
Yeah, rewatching this movie with her.
So she went from Dallas to Night of the Demons?
I guess so.
You sure Lisa's not wrong on this? Did you look this up?
Yeah, I actually looked it up.
Okay.
She was on Dallas. I don't remember what year.
All right, Lisa.
So it might have been Night of the Demons to Dallas. Wait.
Because I thought Dallas was early 80s or early to mid 80s.
Yeah.
No? Or maybe it was.
It was late 70s, but I think it lasted only to the mid 80s. So maybe, I want to say she 86 or something.
So she didn't hone her craft between Dallas and Night of the Demons because she was bad.
Yeah.
Or they said, hey, we're going to give you this role, but you got to be really shitty. I don't know, man.
She's all, Jay.
Sal.
Come on, Jay.
So bad. Oh my God, she's terrible.
Okay.
Oh my God. All right, we should be talking about the movie other than the bad acting.
So they're
at they're at Whole House.
Yeah.
They're all 10 of them are there now. They got the kind of party, going. They're listening to music, but of course
dancing around.
Yeah, dancing and
Of course the music goes out.
The music goes out because I think the batteries go dead in the boombox or the whatever. And we start to see Jay kind of drift,
Oh yeah,
he's gravitating towards Suzanne, which is Linnea Quigley. She's showing off the goods there too, and all the guys are.
I guess we have to note that Judy is resisting Jay's advances of
Yes.
trying to get alone, and because you get the sense that Judy is the virginal one, which, if you know anything about the rules of a horror movie, the girl that's the virginal one is usually the final girl.
Final girl. True.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, but
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah. It's never really said, I don't think, but you get that impression.
Yeah,
by the way she acts.
Yeah, the way she acts, she's it's never said if she's a virgin or not, but the way she acts, she's not going to give it up to Jay, and you come to learn that that was his goal all along.
Pretty much. Yeah. And so Boombox goes out. Hey, let's do what was this, like not a seance, but what were they doing?
I guess it was
I can't remember what they called it.
Yeah, they did call it something different.
Something like that.
Where you stare into the mirror until you see your future self.
Yeah, which I guess the mirror goes black and then you see an image. And so they're doing this, and Angela is in the front. And, this is really her party, so she should be kind of spearheading this thing. And then it goes black, and then I think
and then we see
something happens and everyone turns away, and I think Helen's
the only one that was looking at it.
Yeah, sees the demon and then sees herself get basically killed, right?
Yeah, she's basically like hitting glass.
Yeah. And then the mirror falls down and it breaks, and of course, and everyone's all pissed off at Helen.
Stooge was really mean to her.
Yeah, he was almost like pretending to hit her. I'm like, what an asshole, man.
Yeah.
But what did you think about the whole broken glass and their attempt to film all their different faces in each pane? Yeah, like it was too
too stylistic.
Yeah,
like they were trying to make some sort of
you're trying too hard. Because the glass, first of all, we know isn't gonna it's not gonna break and look just like that, where it's like it's perfectly placed.
And that way all the pieces are all spread apart in their perfect area. Where they broke.
And this is what I was talking about. Instead of substance, you're giving me more style. I don't need that. I don't need that in this type of movie.
But I guess they were trying to foreshadow that each person in each pane of that glass is going to meet their end.
Is that what you think?
That's what I think.
I mean, it sounds great.
I've seen this movie countless times, but I mean, it makes sort of sense.
But I mean, if that's the case, then I swore Judy was definitely in that.
Oh, I know.
And she survives. So I don't remember if Roger was, but he survives as well. But it was those types of things. But they've now unleashed this demon, this hokey looking, looks like a dragon or a dragon's head or something.
Yeah. So they're all like just hanging around the fireplace because there's nothing more to do, because there's no music and the mirror's shattered. So I think they were going to maybe separate and kind of go explore different parts of the house.
Maybe, but I mean, I don't know if that was really discussed, but I mean, sure, what else are you going to do? And then,
but the camera's panning around like like where the eyes of the demon. Yeah. And panning around like
kind of some Sam Raimi Evil Dead stuff, right? Not as good, but
kind of POV. And then I think the demon's trying to find an open orifice to enter, and I think Suzanne was pouting her lips and she had her mouth open, and then it entered through her mouth.
Entered through her, yeah.
And then you see the green gas go in, and it's weird that nobody else noticed that.
I know. They heard the noise. They got the chill. They all smelled the nasty scent.
Yeah, because that's the classically, that's if you smell the smell of rotting meat. Yeah, that's the presence of evil.
Yeah. And so of course Angela says that, and that's what was weird about like that part. It was like Angela's supposed to be kind of this creepy goth girl.
Yeah,
and
she has all this exposition.
And then she's all scared. Like, it just seemed out of character for her at that moment.
Well, I think the true Angela was showing through that she's just all a front.
Yeah.
It was all a front.
Think
you
so?
know, yeah.
A lot of, she's a poser.
She's kind of a little bit of a poser.
Yeah.
She knew a lot of stuff, but when it actually came to be, to deal with, demons and evil, I think she was just like, that's not her scene.
Yeah.
She was just maybe a kid at heart. Maybe.
Yeah. And so these demons was this some sort of maybe burial, like some Indian thing where it was like maybe
they were given the exposition that there was a Indian that stayed there on the ground.
Yeah.
They were settling and he got lost and he settled down on that ground. Well, when they went back to go find him, he had settled there for 3 weeks and they found that he had, made the teepee out of his wife.
Yeah.
And then he was eating the leg of his child.
Something like that. Huh?
Yeah.
So there's evil there.
Yeah.
And this is what what they've unleashed is now after them, right?
Right.
Possessing them. And
I almost want to say that the story writers wanted to make, kind of like an Amityville story, like background.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to describe why would this place be evil.
Yeah.
Well, Amityville used the Native Americans.
Yeah. They seem to do that a lot in films, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. Pet Cemetery.
Yeah. They do. Yeah, they do that. They do that a lot. But it's funny. It's funny with me. It's like, I think I've talked about this in the past. We've done demon movies, we've done ghost stories and stuff like that. And I think even Angela even says this. It's, these aren't ghosts, these are demons. A ghost is someone that was part of living,
right? And
they died and they became a spirit or a ghost.
Exactly.
A demon is basically someone that was never the living.
That has always been like a spirit, but he's looking for a host to inhabit.
Yeah, never part of,
so it can move around.
Yeah. And so so we get, we know Suzanne gets possessed. Shortly thereafter, she makes out with Angela, transfers, a demon into her, and shit starts going south.
I almost want to say it's one demon, but they're just transferring the essence of that same demon.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
Well, that's all we saw was that one cheesy looking animatronic demon.
That was terrible.
I never really cared for that design.
That's bad. It looked like a dragon head to me.
A little bit of a dragon head.
It wasn't good at all. And we see it several times, and it does not hold.
Almost
up.
Like a dragon skeleton.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe there's just one demon, and then it just keeps.
It's the essence of
Really?
that same demon. That's how I kind of took it.
Yeah, you could.
Unless they showed a bunch of them, but they only showed that one.
Yeah, you could be right. Yeah, I mean, so we know now Angela and Linnea's or Suzanne, I'm sorry, is
they're possessed,
and so we're gonna slowly start, seeing some shit happen, man. With some demonic stuff. Some dancing, So
I guess Suzanne takes Stooge away, which really floors Sal. He's like, "Are you kidding me?"
I know you picked him over me.
He's like he's a fat pig.
I know,
it's
right?
like, why would you?
And then what did she say? I think she says, "I'm into pork."
Yeah, she's like, "I'm in the mood for pork." and then Stooge is making his.
Yeah, that was a cool line. I'm cool with that. Yeah. That was one of the better lines in the movie.
So she takes him away to go mess around with him, but then she kind of teases him. Doesn't really. She's like, I gotta go pee, and then she leaves him.
Yeah,
and then she starts even though she's possessed, it's like it didn't really reach her until she got into the bathroom.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of
weird.
Because
I think what is she like? She broke the mirror. Or
the
something.
mirror, yeah.
Because throughout the movie, she just doesn't want to. She keeps asking like, "Do I look okay?" Or "Stop staring at me," and all these weird things. And
yeah, she's really kind of dead set on her looks.
Yeah, always looking in the mirror, always putting on lipstick. But no, she kind of like I said, disappears, and Stooge is like, what the heck, man? And
So he's left in the hallway.
yeah, and he eventually makes his way downstairs. But
Yeah.
I mean, we have, Roger, he already caught wind of bad stuff happening.
So he's trying to get the hell out of there.
Him and Helen were trying to leave. They came in through a gate, and now there's no gate to be found.
No, they're like walking around the property, and it's just a brick wall all the way around.
So it's, whatever's happening here is closed off an exit.
And he's talking to Helen, but then he turns around and Helen's gone.
Yeah, she disappears, and he hears a voice, and he's
calling him.
Yeah, he runs into the car and he locks it up and shuts the windows, which is probably what I would have done too. And
he's just, I think he just falls asleep there.
He does. He falls asleep. We start seeing other stuff going on in the house. We see.
So the music kicks on, and it's playing Bauhaus.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
It's what's that song? Stigmata. I used to know the name of the song. Damn. But it's playing a famous Bauhaus song.
Okay. This is the word Angela's dancing.
Yeah. The batteries on the boombox goes back on, so it's like. And Sal's is kind of looking like, what the hell? The music went back on?
Yeah.
And the batteries
Not to mention
were
the
dead?
strobe light starts going on by itself.
And then of course, in that song, there's a part where he's talking backwards. It's all backmasking,
Oh, okay.
And then, the strobe light starts kicking on, and Angela's doing her dance, and it's a good dance.
Yeah, it is. It's a good dance.
Yeah, I don't remember her removing her skirt, but you could see like it was sheer, and you could see her underwear and stuff underneath it.
Yeah, that's about right. That sounds right. But Sal's not having this, dude. This is weird to him.
It's kind of freaking him out a little bit because Angela is as weird gothy as she is. This is out of character for her.
Yeah, and so Stooge comes down, and Stooge is into it, and Sal bounces.
Yeah.
And then Stooge makes out with.
He's like, hey, I'll dance with you.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, I thought you were cute, and they start making out, and of course she bites his tongue off, and
Yeah.
I think I don't know if she spit it out.
Yeah, she did spit it out.
She spit it out. Yeah, but he basically now is a demon.
Yeah, he's possessed.
And then Jay and Judy have Jay, Judy, and Max and Franny kind of they walk around to kind of explore the house, and Jay's all telling Max to in his little
bounce.
Bounce, dude. I want to try to make a move here on Judy, and of course Judy's not having any of that.
Yeah,
man. It's just not who she is, and so he's like, I'll see you later, man.
He's like, I heard you hooked up with Sal. And it's like, why would I hooked up with Sal?
Yeah, we went out one time.
Yeah.
And it's like and so.
So he thought Judy was easy, and that's why he wanted to go out with her.
Yeah, typical.
So he was a
ale.
douche, and he's going to look for some more action around the house.
And he finds it in the bathroom
with Suzanne.
Yeah, and right before now, do we get the famous?
We do
the famous lipstick in the boob scene.
So what we see is she like decorated her face, and then Sal finds her.
Yeah,
and she's like, I just can't seem to get my makeup right. And he's like, it's too freaky for me, darling. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So he leaves, and then that's where she's like drawing lipstick on her face, and then she runs it down her, kind of opens her top, and then she pushes the lipstick. It's a classic special effects scene.
Yeah,
where she just makes the lipstick disappear into
her nipple. Yeah, do you think like in every movie she did, like it was in the contract that she had to show her breasts,
or at least be naked somewhat?
Yeah. I mean, because every movie that I remember seeing her in, she was nude.
Yeah, I'm thinking Savage Streets that she was partially nude.
I mean, everything in Return of the Living Dead. I mean, she was from head to toe.
Silent Night, Deadly Night, she was nude.
So it's like in every movie, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, we get that scene. Jay walks in on her. He's like, hey man, I'm game.
Yeah, I'll go for that. He's like, hey, that lipstick looks good.
Yeah. So
she pulls off her bottom part of her skirt.
Oh, they start to kind of do
pulls off her underwear.
Yeah, and then they start to do their thing, and then But then she starts freaking out, you know.
She goes, why are you looking at me? Stop staring.
Yeah, and then she kills him. This is a kind of a cool effect. She takes her fingers or her thumbs and into his eye sockets, and it pops, and it's a cool scene.
It is a cool scene.
You know,
who did the special effects on this movie was Steve Johnson. And he did gosh, his resume is pretty long, but he's worked with a lot of other crews. He's just like, like Nicotero and all those guys. They all kind of, and Kevin Yeager and
okay, yeah.
But he actually met Linnea on this set, and they married after this movie.
Is that right?
They didn't stay married long, but
yeah.
But they he married Linnea from this movie.
Oh, that's interesting, man.
Yeah.
So now, look, dude, we're getting, most of these people are dying off, or kind of not dying off. They're dying off, but then coming back as demons. Man.
Yeah.
We get Max and Franny are doing their thing
inside of a coffin.
Stooge comes in. Of course, he's now a demon, and I think he breaks Franny's neck, and then he basically takes the
coffin. He's trying to slam it down
and slams it down so many times that it takes off Max's arm.
Yeah.
So now they're dead, but they become demons.
Yeah.
So really, almost every single person now is a demon, except for Sal, Roger,
and Judy.
And we know Helen. We're going to see a death of Helen.
Oh wait,
on
that's
the top
right.
of the
yeah, that's right. So
it's
Roger's waking up in his car.
Yeah,
and he hears a sound, and then all of a sudden Helen falls on top of the car.
Yeah,
and so her death that she predicted
kind
in the
of
mirror,
the premonition of her demise.
Right.
Yeah,
it showed exactly what happened. So
yeah, there's just a lot. It's hard to remember every single thing. There's a lot of things happening in the house. The bottom line is, there's all of them are demons right now, right?
Right.
Except for the three. Roger, Judy, and Sal. And Sal, not too long after, is gonna meet his demise as well.
Yeah.
Him and Angela, I think. Okay, so before we get to that part, these are the parts I'm talking. Okay, so I talked about the dolly zoom. The part this was done several times in the hallways where Angela looks like she's floating.
Yeah.
When you do it once, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's like, oh shit, man. What's happening here? She's floating. When you do it like 5 or 6 times, it's like, oh God. That's what I'm referring to. I don't know if you felt that way.
Well, the first dolly shot, wasn't it when she's...
No, the dolly zoom.
Or the dolly zoom.
I'm not even talking about the dolly zoom.
Oh.
There was 2 of those.
Yeah.
There was 2 of those, and I'm trying to remember when it happened. Once was, I think, with Angela and Suzanne, and then I think one was with Sal.
Well, the Sal one where she's warming her hands by the fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
That's a good scene.
I love the scene with the hands. It's cool.
Yeah.
But we already saw the dolly zoom earlier on.
Yeah.
When Angela's floating through the hallways.
Oh yeah.
We've seen that. Seeing it once is cool.
Mm-hmm.
You've established it. It's cool. I don't need to see it 5 other times.
Oh, with her coming down the hallway.
Because it loses its impact to me.
Yeah.
Like its creepiness, or
But that seems like the only way that she moved. Nobody else moved like that.
No, yeah, you're right. But she didn't move like that all the time.
She moved like that ever since,
I don't know if it was ever
since she got a demon face.
But I would argue, because towards the end, when they come out of the house, she's walking.
Oh, she is walking.
So
that's
again,
right.
it's
yeah.
Be consistent. If you're going to establish something, then follow through with it all the way through. To me, it's like, let her float. We don't need to see that she's floating every single time. I don't need to see that. I saw it the one time. It scared me. It was cool, But those are the things. It's you're going more for style than substance, and that's the thing that bothered. There are a lot of things that bother me in this movie. There's a lot of stuff I can tolerate, but it's those things. You may not have cared so much,
Right.
But anyways, I know Judy's on, I think she's on top of a balcony or some shit. I think she falls off, but she's still there. And then Sal comes to her rescue, and Sal and Angela fall off the house. We know Angela's is a demon. She's okay, but Sal gets impaled.
Yeah, to the chest.
Dude, what did you think about the tombstone?
That was kind of cheesy.
It was cheesy, right?
Yeah.
Like it just didn't work for me.
Like unless there was more trickery like that. That was the only trickery like that.
It seemed out of place, right?
It did seem a little out of place because there should have been more. It almost seemed like a move that they were trying to do, kind of like an exorcist thing.
You think?
Yeah, but it didn't. I mean, when I first watched it, the first 10 times I've watched that movie, it didn't really bug me. I think the more I watch it, it's like, it's a little out of place.
Yeah, it was. It was whatever, and I think it was their way of trying to
say that he's never going to leave.
Yeah,
that this is where he lies now.
And Angela kind of gets like maybe a 1 or 2 liner in there,
Yeah.
And then it's the Judy's still kind of stuck up there. She has to crawl on the balcony to get to a place where she can kind of fall down where Roger is, and then she falls, and it's that. And dude, did that remind you of the fall that we just talked about last week in Psycho when Abergast?
Oh yeah,
is, I mean, right?
Yeah,
these are those stylistic shots. Yeah, the stylistic shots.
Yeah,
that it's like, okay, I don't know. It's like, okay, it's almost, to me, it's like we don't know a lot of. We may not be a good director or writer. We can't act, but hey, there's a few things that we've picked up along the way, with the camera, and we're going to show you what we can do, and then kind of shove it down your throat. And that's what I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, so now we got Roger and Judy, right?
Yeah.
Roger and Judy and the rest are demons.
They're demons. So they go down and they hide in the
crematorium.
It's like a crematorium area. There's like a gas line that's in that tunnel area where they're at, it was kind of a weird crematorium. They almost look like chambers instead of a place where you you can easily push in a.
Yeah,
it almost seemed like just a chamber where it's like a tube.
Yeah, to me, I mean, it looked. I guess maybe because I've already seen the movie several times, I knew it was a crematorium, but. It spanked of a crematorium to me, I guess. I mean, I'm not that familiar with them. Yeah. But did you find it funny that Roger kept always leaving Judy? Like he always left her behind.
Yeah.
Like is something like bad was happening. He's like, yeah, bitch, you're on your own.
Yeah.
And he kept running like everywhere. It's like, dude, you're just leaving her there. And
well, he's like, I don't know if she's gonna make it or not.
That's messed up, man. But yeah, I mean, she. I think she down in the crematorium, they're breaking down through the door.
And honestly, this is the part where I kind of start checking out a little bit.
Yeah.
For me, I start checking out because maybe I think that I know that the ending's coming soon.
Yeah.
So some of the details of what they do and I just kind of, this is like where I start looking at my phone or, which is, it's kind of crappy because I think the movie kind of takes a dive a little bit.
It does, man.
It drags through here.
It does drag,
and it's funny because it's not even that long of maybe not even 10 minutes.
No.
Yeah, but it feels like it's drawn out and boring.
Yeah,
because after they when it's just the two of them after Sal bites it, it's like I
kind of lose interest.
Yeah, I kind of lose interest too. It's like
it's just whatever, man. I'm almost like, just finally get to the end and tell me
exactly. That's how I feel.
Yeah, and that's what's happening here. They break through the doors. And she somehow lights them on fire through the gas that was in the
gas line. They have is it a lighter or whatever?
Yeah, that lighter that came into play earlier in the movie. She lights them on fire. They leave.
So it's just Stooge and Angela that are on fire.
Yes.
Yeah. None of the other ones are on fire.
No, just those two. Roger again leaves Judy behind,
and then she's got to catch up to him.
She's got to catch up to him, and he's at the door. He can't get out.
So he busts out.
Yeah, he jumps. He's like, "Look, I'm done with this shit." And he jumps through the window, and somehow
he's outside.
Yeah, he's okay, I guess. And so she follows behind, and then everyone
busts through the door.
Yeah, everyone comes out, and this is what I was talking about. Angela's just walking like the rest of them.
Yeah.
I will say this. I will say this. Most of the effects aren't great. Angela Burnt looks really good to me.
Oh yeah, she looks pretty cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
It looks really good. Everyone else's
Stooge?
makeup was bad. Stooge wasn't. I didn't think Stooge was that great. Suzanne wasn't that great. You know,
and then they didn't care for some of the other ones.
The other ones just like
Max didn't even have.
No, he just looked like a zombie, like some extra in a bad zombie movie.
He didn't even have anything wrong with him.
No, just his arm being ripped off.
That was it. And then Jay, because he had his eyeballs poked out.
Yeah, I mean that's whatever.
Yeah,
that was whatever. I just
Suzanne's like, "Do you like your blind date, Judy?"
I know, right?
But he reminded me of a Freddy from Return of the Living Dead with his eyes missing, and he was all kind of zombied out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Or he was demoned out.
Yeah,
and then Freddy was zombied out, but they kind of had a similar look.
They did. To me, what I feel is when they got towards the end. I don't know, man. They ran out of ideas or money or both.
Because it was a little boring.
Yeah. Like it just seemed thrown together at the end.
It's like, let's make these guys hop the fence.
That brick wall.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now we have barbed wire. Why? Okay. The barbed wire wasn't there before when we walked around, but okay, it's there now. Now we can actually climb up.
Because it's a plot device.
Exactly. And of course they get their hands ripped open and stuff, but look, we got to get out of here. And Roger makes it up first.
Yeah. And then he's trying to get
he's trying to get Judy up and Judy's struggling, of course. They come, Stooge grabs her and then the rest come out and they're kind of
and burned her leg with this.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
What's up with that?
Because it's like, was he so hot still that he's going to burn her? But then.
Or was he just demonized and he can burn?
Right. Almost like the same thing with the Sal tombstone. It's just a plot device to say, oh, look how evil they are.
Yeah. Maybe.
They can do some supernatural things like burn you with the touch of their skin.
Yeah.
Which,
I don't know. I wasn't buying that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, in this towards the end, the only thing I'm digging is Angela's makeup.
Yeah.
I'm digging her all burnt up. That looks cool. Other than that, nothing
they know
else
that they have to, and then she came to the realization, or I should say Judy did. It's like they can't leave because it's the one day that they can roam the earth is on Halloween. But once they pass over that barrier, because they have that continuous running water that goes
like
around
the underground stream or
the
something.
Underground stream.
Supposedly it's like a barrier.
And it holds the evil in.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they finally get over, right? I mean,
well, you see Roger fall over and then you.
I thought he was going to bail and leave her.
I did too. When
he did that through the whole movie.
When I first saw this movie, I thought that was it. And then with her, the fact that they were grabbing her and stuff, I was telling Lisa watching it again last night, I'm like, in reality, they would have grabbed her down.
Easily grabbed her down.
Because she wasn't that high up.
No.
They would have, with all those bodies grabbing at her, she would have easily been grabbed down.
Easily. And then with barbed wire, how barbed wire is. I mean, it would have just came off of whatever it was on. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's just whatever, man. And then I felt too, again, looking at all of them, because at this point, 2 of them are trying to escape and 8 are now demons. And there were 8 of them in this little pack, and it just looked odd the way they were reaching out for her. It was not good. It was not good.
Yeah.
It was not good, man. It definitely does not hold up for me. But they make it out.
Yeah. And he comes in to be the savior and reaches down and
gets her,
jumps back over the top of the wall to grab her,
pulls her over. Yeah. And then you see this, again, we see the cheesy demon dragon head looking thing and
skeleton dragon,
and then I think we see some cheesy fog and I don't know, they make it out, man.
Yeah. And basically it's morning.
Yeah, it's morning's the next day,
so the evil has been vanquished. And the cheesy fog, they like dissipate into the cheesy fog.
Yeah, dude.
Which I never really, I think it would have been cool if they melted.
That'd be cool.
See, that would have been cool. Like,
I just don't think they had the skills to do that or the money to do that.
Yeah, they should have borrowed some from like Street Trash or something.
There you go.
That would have been cool.
Hell yeah.
Melted. Or like The Devil's Rain.
Dude.
Have you ever seen that movie?
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah,
Street Trash for sure, but not.
But yeah, they just melt in the
cool.
rain. That could have been their thing. That they started melting.
Something.
Yeah.
Something instead
Like
of
the
the
fog- like the
cheesy,
fog.
dumb fog that we
Yeah.
got. But we got Judy and Roger survived, and they just look
They're just beat up and tired.
exhausted, and they're walking home. And then we get the old guy again who comes out to
Grab his paper.
to get his paper, and he's just like I said, he's just an old curmudgeon, and so we get him inside, and the wife is giving him coffee and a piece of apple pie that I guess she had made.
Yeah,
you know?
he's like, when did you have time to bake? And she's like, oh, you fell asleep, and no, we didn't get a lot of trick or treaters, so I made some pies while you were asleep with the apples that you bought.
Yeah.
And he's like, apples? What? Ah! And then cheesy as it is,
I will tell you, this is one of the parts I actually like.
I like it, but you would have thought that he would have felt a blade in his mouth.
Look, if okay, you're absolutely right. A big blade, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
If he was chopping these, like, if he was breaking these blades up like little pieces and sticking them in an apple, okay, then he's eating a pie and doesn't know. And then that's what I thought we were seeing with the thing. It was like a big fucking big blade
popping out of his neck, which that would never happen.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. The effect itself is pretty cool. I do like this.
I respect their effort of what they were trying to accomplish.
Yes.
But then again, that goes back to my argument that it was played for kind of cheesiness. Because how are they expect us to think?
But not cheesiness on the lines of trauma, though. That's
no, not that cheesy.
Yeah.
But cheesy to like wink, wink at the audience that
maybe
that's, this would never happen, but look what we did with our movie.
Yeah.
And then they show you the blades coming out of the neck.
True. Yeah, you're probably right. And then the wife is like,
she's like, Happy Halloween, dear.
Yeah.
And she's like kissing him on the head.
Yeah.
It's almost like a wink, wink to the audience.
Yeah. Because he just seems like an asshole, man. So, he's probably he's probably made her life miserable. So it's like, and that's it, man.
And that was the end of
the movie.
And that
was Night of the Demons. And like I said, man, I liked this. I didn't love it when I saw it in '88, and I've seen it a few times since. And I think as I keep watching this, I like it even less. And it's not that I wouldn't. It depends on the type of horror fan you are.
Yeah.
Look. I know I could recommend this to you if you had never seen this, because I know you would like it, because I know what kind of movies you like.
Yeah.
I could recommend this to, say, Darren. I know Darren would not like this movie.
Yeah.
Donovan would not like this movie. So it depends on the type of horror movies you like. I'm not going to say absolutely don't go see it. I think you're going to get it's going to be a torn. It's like 50-50. It's like, half are going to really like it and half are really going to hate it, man.
It's funny. There's some movies after this movie came out that are not related to this movie whatsoever, but have a similar premise and have a similar feel. And one of those movies is called The Convent, and that's with Adrienne Barbeau.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a similar thing, but it happens in a convent where they're turning into demons. And then there's another movie called, not related whatsoever, but called Dead Alive.
Oh, yes.
And this came out a few years ago, and oh my God, I can't remember the name of the director, but the director is someone famously directed something else in the horror community, and I don't have IMDb up right now, but he directed another movie that people beloved, and it is his movie of Dead Alive had a similar feel to this movie, where friends were becoming demonized and turning into demons and going after their friends. And I think they were trying to, in the same vein as this movie. It seems like they were almost like, kind of influenced by this movie.
Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we've seen worse.
Oh, I've seen stuff that you would not even ever imagine to want to watch.
Yeah, and you have a lot more tolerance than I do when it comes to the movies. It's like I don't know, as I've gotten older, I have less tolerance for horror movies, certain types of horror movies.
Yeah.
But on the podcast we like to just kind of do a little bit of everything. And so like I said, man, I'm not going to say I'm not going to recommend this to people. I just think it just depends on the fan, you know, and whether they like this or not. I don't know.
Right.
I think you're going to get a 50-50 on this. I think it's either you're going to love it or hate it. And I don't know if there's a middle ground there. I don't know, so anyways, anything else?
Nothing else I can add other than, the first time I saw this movie, I rented it while my ex-wife was at work. She worked at Flash Video, and I rented that there. And she was, they were, a video store that were open all night long. So
okay.
I remember watching this and kind of pulling an all-nighter. And this was one of my last movies I watched, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Stayed up late, watched this, and I loved it. I love a lot of movies that are set on Halloween. And this was one of those that I'm like, you know what? This is one I can watch every year as a Halloween movie. I think after subsequent watches over the years, it doesn't obviously hold up for me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I will pop it in like once a year or maybe once every other year.
Okay.
Just because it's got that Halloween feel and it's fun and it's easy,
It still has an 80s feel, even though it's the late 80s.
Yeah.
It still has that 80s feel. So I do enjoy that aspect of it because I'm a sucker for anything in the 80s, especially when it comes to horror,
Oh, totally.
all right, man. Well, shit. I think we touched on everything.
Yeah.
I guess that's it. Thanks again for coming out, dude.
Absolutely. I love talking these things.
Yeah. We'll have you back here soon. Not sure what we'll talk about, but we'll come up with something.
Yeah.
Everyone out there, thanks for listening. Stay safe. And we'll talk at you later.
Happy Halloween.
Thanks again for listening. Make sure you tell everyone about our Ear for Fear podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Ear for Fear. You can also check out our website, earforfear.com. There you can keep up to date on news, events, and episodes. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. We hope you come back and get an earful.